Hey, awesomes. How's it going? Um, I know we've got the talked about attention getters this week, right? I told you I'd be back with you to talk a little bit more specifically in the actual week 13 videos. But I wanted to give you a chance to kind of look at attention getters a little bit, which we'll talk about a little bit more. I'm going to start today, though. We're going to talk about quoting and say kind of when and how to use quotations and look at some of the conversation templates, if you will, using this very first sample inquiry research project. There's two, obviously, there that you can look over and kind of give you an idea. But I wanted to. This is the quoting when and how to use quotations. I think, based on the annotated bibliographies that I've been reading, it sounds like you guys have a crystal clear idea of how to do that. And you guys are doing that very, very well. So this is maybe just more of a review, but I did want to at least mention it and kind of look at some, maybe an example or two for us to kind of go over. So let's look at kind of these conversation templates. And the one, so I just want to draw your attention. This is the link to the conversation template. So when it comes up, it's got this there. And then I think this starts on page 3. Kind of the highlight for me, if I had to focus you on any particular section of the conversation templates, it's to think about using this one, and especially capturing authorial action. Because we have a tendency a lot of times just to say so-and-so states, right? Or Smith states when she says boom, right? Or Jones when he says boom, right? Or Jones states, right? Or Jones says. Yes, they stated it. Yes, they said it. But I want to encourage you to kind of think about, okay, what is it that they were doing when they said it? So if we look at this list right here, we can see that they're acknowledging something, agreeing with something, are they arguing something? Take the idea from the quote. What is the quote doing? Is it arguing something? Is it believing something? Is it denying something? Is it conceding something, claiming something, demonstrating something? These types of things and use this list. This would not be plagiarism, okay? To literally use these and insert them into your paper and use them. So by way of example, this is like I said, this is the first sample in our that I posted for you, right? Sample inquiry research project paper. And so in this paragraph here, I think we are at the bottom of page 4, going into page 5. Starting right here with, it says, Rebecca A. Clay explains this, right? He sets up, in addition, with the mental strain these people experience as they grow with not much assistance to learn to manage their anger and impulses, they become more and more violent and continue to make violent decisions, right? So he sets this up very, very well. Now he's going to insert an author, right, and use a quote. And what he uses it for, and what she is doing too, is it's an explanation about what he has just said about this violence and to continue to make violent decisions. Explains this in an article titled Listening to Killers, where she explains that when you mix hypervigilance and a belief in preemptive assault, you get a war zone mentality, which is what these children are conditioned to with this early trauma. And then she brings up the point of compound trauma and how it accumulates over time in these people's lives. So this quote connects what he has kind of been talking about. I have to read the earlier paragraph too, as he's got this thought. But he's used the quote to help him let the author explain something for him. And then he continues to talk about, since we've gone through, there's this mental strain that they experience as they grow, right? So there is this strain. And then he uses the quote to introduce the concept of that's this early trauma, which they're dealing with. And then continues to then he does, right, further explanation, right? He doesn't just kind of like drop the quote in, and then continues to use their traumatic upbringings just because a person experiences trauma, and then he transitions really, really, really well, and drops in another quote and talks about the study. And then these two genes, and he continues to kind of build on that, kind of interweaving his quotes every once in a while between how he is kind of positioning those in there. So I really think I think it's a really good example, or at least for you to draw your attention if